Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks for clicking on to today's edition of VOGAN'S Views in Europe for the 17th of April. We're seeing a very wet, very windy night across Ireland and all of the British Isles, in fact. And that cold front depicted very well here in the satellite image, pushing across Ireland and the UK, producing very strong gusty winds, and as well as that, very heavy torrential rain as well associated with this front. The front itself drags all the way down through Iberia and into the Azores region. So that's how far, look at that there, the tail of this cold front all the way and associated with this area of low pressure. The area of low pressure, if you notice by the satellite image, actually winds up and deepens just off the British Isles. You look at that there, how it's deepening and winding up. So it's well, in some respects it's actually rapidly deepening, and what that will do is it's going to start to push across Ireland, Southern Ireland, into the southern half of England, Wales, over the course of the next 24 hours. But that cold front pushing through actually produced some interesting amounts of rain. Over the course of last night, I heard some reports of 80 to 90 millimetres within the space of 1 hour in some highly localised areas of Ireland. Now that is 3.5 inches of rain, folks. Within that short period of time, very impressive rainfall indeed. It's probably embedded little cells there that was enhancing that rainfall. And if you just get the right ingredients converging together, it can produce some tremendous amounts of rain. But that really is a beautiful looking satellite image. This is off the Media Group website, and it really does depict well the overall setup here. You've got a spin here over Eastern Europe. There's that cold front, like I say, sweeping across the country. On the back side of it, you notice here the scattering nature of the cloud cover. As that front pushes through, you've got tremendous energy harnessed in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Of course, the breaks in the cloud allows some of that solar energy to reach the ground, warm that lower atmosphere, destabilize the atmosphere further, and of course, as you see some of these showers pushing through, folks, they've got that warmth, that energy, the solar energy at the low levels of the atmosphere to really feed, enhance that upward motion. So you'll notice here, as they push through over the course of this afternoon, you'll notice very strong gale force winds potentially, torrential rain, hail, thunder, lightning, all associated with these showers as they push through this afternoon. They're going to be pretty wicked, I think. But what I will say is this, folks, that you've actually got a transfer, a very hostile upper atmosphere, all associated with the circulation spin with that low pressure here. What that's doing is, it's as these sails push across your area, they're actually transferring that energy, that very strong wind, down to the lower levels. So that energy from the jet stream level is actually pushing across the surface, and that's why we're seeing those very strong gusty winds associated with these sails. Really quite an impressive setup indeed. But that cold front now pushing into the near continent, Holland, Belgium, down through France, you're seeing those strong gusty winds, heavy driving rainfall. But I'm going to have a quick showing of, this is off the ECMWF, or should I say the GFS, and it's off the Media Group website. And it depicts well the movement of the pressure. This, is, of course, is the area of low pressure, the centre, down to 972 millibars, and that is quite a deep area of low pressure. Certainly the strongest, I would say, we've seen since December last year. And you can see the movement here. Notice the track, it's pushing towards the southeast, and it will actually push across the southern half of Ireland. Therefore, we're going to be seeing more settled conditions, calmer winds. Don't be surprised. Clear skies tonight over Scotland, parts of the north of England. What does that tell us? Light winds, clear skies, yeah, radiational cooling. So frosty conditions across rural areas, out with towns and cities. And certainly will not seem as if it's a particularly bad night anywhere across the northern half of the British Isles. But a different story, even across Northern Ireland, it's not going to be a big deal. But it's actually across the far south of Ireland. We're going to be talking about a very stormy night indeed. Wouldn't be surprised if we see some of the exposed southwest coastal areas of Ireland. Along that south coast up by Cork perhaps, we could be talking about strong to gale force winds. Definitely gale force winds, Gusts could top 70, perhaps even 80 miles an hour. So it's going to be a rough night. That core of low pressure will then push across Ireland within the 15 to 18 hour period. Notice here the pressure starts to rise ever so slightly. Not going to make a big deal, but 24 hours. So this is around this time tomorrow. You notice here the pressure goes from 976 back down to 974. Where's the strongest winds? It's always to the south of that centre. So the very strong gale force winds across the south of Ireland. Then it's South Wales and the southwest of England's turn to see gale force winds. As well as that, very hefty showers pushing through. Hail, thunder, lightning, torrential downpours, perhaps even 1 to 2, perhaps even 3 inches of rain within a 15 minute to an hour period. Some of that energy transfer down to the surface will be had underneath this very strong area of low pressure. But what I will say is this, folks, the area of low pressure itself is going nowhere anytime soon. This is by 36 hours later on Wednesday, sitting basically bang slap over Coventry. 48 hours. This is by Thursday. Where's the low? It's not moved very far. It's sitting over Norwich at 980 millibars. By 60 hours, it's meandered northwards. It's actually taken a loop from up here, well off northwest Ireland, down through the south of Ireland, the south of England, and actually it's going to head back up towards Scotland. This is, of course, if the GFS model is correct. Tomorrow, we're going to be seeing the most unsettled conditions across Ireland, the south, from the Midlands on southwards. More settled conditions, more sunnier conditions across the north, up across Cumbria, northwards through the Central Belt and the Highlands of Scotland. By 84 hours, where's it going? Well, we've actually got a secondary area of low pressure. Yeah, the pressure isn't particularly low, but we have got a forming of low pressure down here, basically over the southern half of the Irish Sea. The original area of low pressure is up here off the Edinburgh and Berkshire coast. So yeah, it's a pretty unsettled pattern. We're dominated here, heavy thundery showers, cloud cover, cool blustery conditions. Yeah, it's a pretty disappointing picture, that's for sure. And really I don't see much change in the longer term. Looking ahead at 90 hours, so this is by Saturday, that same area of low pressure is now up across the East Highlands over the Grampian region of Scotland, 988 millibars. Certainly going to be a very unsettled weekend for Scotland, that's for sure. By 102 hours, yeah, it's sitting right over Scotland yet again. So it's a pretty stalled, very sluggish pattern. And looking ahead at the next 10 to 15 days, folks, I don't really see much change, unfortunately. Keep checking back, and I'll keep you up to date as much as possible. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.